Okay, so back at it. I had to let my phone charge so I could do the water signs. We'll start with Pisces. Alright, what is being eclipsed out for Pisces? Alright, let's come here. Alrighty, so with Pisces, it looks like what's being eclipsed out, we have the Ace of Pentacles. And that's clarified by the Five of Cups and the Princess of Wands. So, when I was looking at these three, it was given like, your gifts will make room for you. And I was getting with the Five of Cups and the Princess of Wands. The Princess of Wands to me usually represents like going on a journey, looking for something, or like a new adventure. And with the Five of Cups coupled with that, it was like, it felt like a lack of direction. And with there's 3 cups in this that are like knocked over. And then when I looked at like the bottom of the deck, there was like the 3 of Pentacles. And what I'm getting is that perhaps there is some grieving energy over 3 things that had to be released, or that are going to have to be released, that no longer serve. And, you know, there are 5 stages of grief. And it looks like 3 stages of grief have already been made through. So now the next is like, the last 2 are like bargain and then acceptance. Because the first is like denial, then anger, and then depression. And then bargain and acceptance. So there may be some emotional energy that you're just going to have to move through. And I'm getting that with this one. Like, you're going to have to move through this emotional energy. Potentially some kind of like not so great feelings. Perhaps over something of the past, or just some healing work that needs to be done, that it can't be glossed over. It's going to have to be moved through. And once you like move through these emotions, then you'll be feeling refreshed, because the way that she's kind of like looking up here, it feels like she's taking a deep breath. And with the Ace of Pentacles being over that, is kind of like it's seeming like the thing that you're going to have to release looked like it was something that was like helpful or something that you needed to be abundant, but you don't. You don't need it to be abundant. You might be relying on something too much to like feel stable, but it's an illusion. It's not real. And once you move through the grieving energy that you need to go through to get past like all the emotional parts of it and like actually center yourself and get honest about like what it really is, then you can move into this new season, which is going to bring you like genuine emotional balance. And then with the Ace of Wands, a new beginning, something new, something fresh, something like a huge fresh air. So I'm getting that like this grieving process is basically turning you to ash to be reborn into the fire. And with the Princess of Wands and the Ace, they kind of feel like they have that same like I'm taking my first breath energy. So a beginner's mind may be significant. Like you might need to take a step back and look at things from like a new perspective, as if, you know, it's not you. Sometimes it's easier to judge a situation better when it's not us versus when, you know, we're actually the ones going through it. Because sometimes it's really easy to give like friends advice and be like, oh yeah, well, it seems like that person doesn't really like you because, you know, they're doing this, this, and this. Or, you know, do you want somebody that you don't know how you, like, you know, you don't know how you feel about them? Or do you want somebody that makes it clear, like, you know, how they feel about you? Because it's easier to ask those questions to like people that we care about than it is to ask to ourselves. Because sometimes you might feel like you don't have that knowing within self of what you're deserving of all the time, and you always feel like, well, you know, I love everybody else and, you know, I feel like they just deserve so much more. But when it comes to yourself, like, you kind of forget that you do too. You deserve everything that you desire as well. And so sometimes you have to take a step back and look at your situation. Like, if this was a friend going through it, would you be okay with this? Like, would you want to tell them, hey, you need to just drop this shit? Or would you just allow them to continue to go through it? And I mean, like, everybody has free will, and you don't always want to get in people's business, but it's just one of those things. Your self-care card is... it says, what you're doing requires others. What you're doing requires the help of others is what I wrote on the card. I wrote it in black marker, so I could barely see it. So yeah, it looks like you need other people right now, and you need balanced connections. So release any connections that are imbalanced and are not giving you the proper reciprocity or treating you the way that you know you deserve to be treated, because you know exactly how you deserve to be treated. And being in an imbalance of emotions and feeling like crap is not how you deserve to be treated. So now it's time to get honest about these connections, because you got genuine connections coming in that's going to bring you a new abundant beginning. So I hope that helped.